Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVT World. My name is Sasha Farbach. Lithuania's capital Vilnius briefly ground to a halt on Wednesday after a drone incursion triggered air raid alerts, forcing leaders into shelters and disrupting air and rail traffic in Vilnius. The incident comes amid growing regional tensions, with NATO jets scrambled across Baltic airspace, and competing claims over the drone's origin reflects an increasingly volatile security environment on NATO's eastern flank. We're now speaking to Petras Auštrevičius, Lithuanian MEP from the Renew Group Europe. Good to have you with us.
Good morning. Pleasure of mine.
Petras, so this was quite an ordeal yesterday. So tell us a little bit for our audience what exactly happened and how close were we to anything escalating yesterday?
Well, indeed, I mean, you're completely right. It's rather serious and complicated situation what, in particular, Vilnius residents faced yesterday early morning on Wednesday. The air, alarm went on, and locals were informed that there is an incursion of drones. It was the highest danger level announcement for residents, and residents been asked to go to shelters. It concerns all private as well public institutions, schools, and so on and so forth. So that's why it was rather inconvenient, disturbing moment. And in a good hour of time, this alert was, recalled, and things have settled. Although the drone itself went through Vilnius region into the southern part of the country and then vanished in the woods, and up to now it's not found by our militaries.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is also something that you kind of see this emergency response testing. A lot of citizens were alarmed on the phone. So this is quite serious stuff. On the one hand, it's come because let's go back also to Tuesday into New York at the UN, at the United Nations Security Council. The Russian ambassador essentially threatened the Latvians, accusing them that they're going to be launching Ukrainian drones from the airspace. Now this comes to as a response, a Baltic response, the letter that I believe you penned, one of the primary signatures to Ursula von der Leyen, head of the Commission, basically asking for more support here. What do you expect the Commission and the European institutions should do now, considering what happened yesterday, the threat from Russia, and your letter?
Well, you're completely right. Over the last week, we see escalatory rhetorics from the Russian side. And what I notice, higher and higher echelons of the Russian political elite are getting involved and accusing the Baltic states, single countries like Latvia, Lithuania or Estonia, and all together as being associated with the so-called war against Russia, and accusing us of directly taking a part in military actions against the Russian Federation. So this is very dangerous. I don't see any, thin line in between of rhetorics and any possible retaliatory actions might be taken from the Russian side. So that's why we have initiated this letter to President von der Leyen, and then was good to see that President Costa and Roberta Metsola, President of the European Parliament, responded and followed. We ask for one thing. Look, this is a very serious situation. It's not an attack just on the Baltic states. It's an attack on EU in general. So we need a solidarity. We need a kind of, pushing out action. At least by words from high officials, in order to, slow down and, really demand the Russian side for de-escalation, at least in words.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, you mentioned there, Petras, about solidarity. This is Latvia, this is now Lithuania we're talking about from yesterday. Let's also hear the words from recently the Estonian foreign minister, who's also talked a bit about what this means for his country in the region. Let's roll that now for you in our audience.
This is a desperate act from Russian side. But this is exactly that the western part of the world unity to support Ukraine and put more pressure on Russia is very important right now. And we are going to discuss as well the NATO deterrence and the plans for the future already tomorrow. So this is exactly the time when Russia is trying to use an opportunity to divide us.
All right, speaking of deterrence and plans for the future, Petras, there's also a discussion, interesting, in Lithuania about stationing nuclear weapons. Now, apparently this is not allowed by your constitution, but the debate has resurfaced. How likely is that to change? How likely is it that Lithuania might actually have nuclear weapons stationed on its soil?
Well, I mean, I guess we will take and we will use each and every possible action of deterrence. I mean, to keep any possible Russian aggression as far as possible. So that's why there is a talk on changing the legislation, local legislation, in order to allow even military ships with nuclear kind of weapons on board to enter the ports of Lithuania, as well as to be stationed on a soil. So it's a very serious reaction and a sign that country is considering each and every kind of alternative in order to feel safe and people live better in this regard.
Mm-hmm. And then also, there's a first that this happened on the 19th of May, just this week as well, with all these drone incursions. A drone was actually shot down the first time by a jet. This is part of NATO's police mission. I believe that was a Romanian jet, which was stationed in Lithuania. Tell us a bit what that means for how this, let's say, is deterrence, how that's going to be interpreted by Moscow.
Exactly. It's the very first time when a drone was shot down by a military plane, by Romanian pilots stationed in Lithuania, in Šiauliai. But, you know, I guess it's, financially speaking, a very expensive operation. We have to find probably cheaper, more effective and better located systems like Ukraine has on its front line. So that's why, by the way, I insist and ask the Lithuanian authorities, I mean, to come to much closer and better cooperation with the Ukrainian military forces in order to, you know, take over the experience, as well as probably to have some Ukrainian experts being located in Lithuania in order to assist us, I mean, to handle absolutely new situation. And, you know, between of us, I don't think the de-escalation might come as we wish, I mean, to see it. I don't see any signs from the Russian side, I mean, to go that way. So that's why we have to prepare ourselves as much as possible for anything might be happening in future.
Mm-hmm. And also, one of these cases does seem to appear that in terms of the origin of this drone, if this has not been the first time this has happened, but with also the electronic jamming nearby in Kaliningrad, that's Russian territory, with these drones, they might be straying over from what Ukraine has launched them from their airspace. What needs to happen in your mind? What does, let's say, reasonable success look like here? Is it more coordination? Do you need more, let's say, of your own jamming equipment? Do you need more, I don't know, in terms of strategy with Ukraine? Where is, let's say, success look like so these kind of instances can be avoided?
Well, I think we need, I mean, to have probably two major systems or military platforms or even being reinforced. First, airspace monitoring, because, I mean, drones fly very low, so we need special equipment in this regard. I mean, our military forces already committed, I mean, to have it in coming months. And secondly, we have to have very effective low-flying drones hitting, jamming, or intercepting equipment. I mean, you know, at certain technological level, anti-drone kind of drones. So that's why, I mean, these systems must come as soon as possible, and it must be well coordinated among the regional countries. I guess Poland included. Only this, I mean, might bring more certainty and security to all of us.
Mm-hmm. And just really quick, Petras, what about the public dealing with all this in the last, just not 24 hours, but already? What's the mood there in Lithuania?
Well, you know, I mean, people are really been more concerned. I mean, it disturbed normal life for the first time. It was indeed a test case. I mean, not everything worked absolutely ideally, but it's a good lesson which we have to learn and move forward, really taking care of civilians and our way of life as much as possible.
And I know that you're working very hard there in Brussels and Strasbourg for keeping this issue right at the forefront there. Thanks so much for all your time. Always a pleasure. Petras Auštrevičius, the Lithuanian MEP from the
Thank
MEP.
you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.